Um, All right. Okay. So let me figure this out because I think I'm up. Can everyone hear me? Because for some reason I can't. Oh, that's because Elizabeth is on mute. That's why I can't hear you. I'm like, that is so odd. I'm like, I see you moving, but I can't hear you. How are you? You're on mute. I can't hear you.
That's a bad thing for me to be on mute. I said, I feel like I'm in your house.
This is my office. And I've kind of set it up for success right now. And what I'm doing is I have my laptop on my personal Zoom account, and then I have on my phone the
Black Swan. Okay.
The Black Swan one, exactly. So I'm just kind of checking in and out who is, because I need to accept them little by little as they start signing in.
Yeah, because last night I missed one. I didn't get accepted into it. I was all dressed and sitting here waiting, and it was like 6:41, and she still didn't let me in, and I was like, I felt all rejected.
Oh no! Well, we are asking people to sign in at least 15 minutes at the most before class time, so we have enough time to accept everyone in the room. Because once we start the class, I'm like over there, so it's very challenging for me to go back into my phone while I'm already teaching. And you know,
you almost need another person in there just to operate the phone.
Exactly. Yeah. And so the thing is that we have to adapt ourselves little by little, everyone, you as a student and I as a teacher, and that's kind of like the fun part of it. So again, you know, little by little. Hopefully where the phone is, it's fine. I have another screen over here. That is my personal Zoom account, the one that you see like from a corner.
Just tilt the phone down a little bit, like, or scoot the mat back a little bit. Yeah, there you go.
That's better?
Mm-hmm.
Cool. Yeah. My phone here is a contraption that I created and that it's glued to my wall so I can like have enough space. And I think that as I speak, there's moments where you're going to be able to see me here in front and then sometimes here in the corner, which I think is pretty nifty because it's like having two angles at some point. And because I think my laptop, I don't know if it's receiving audio or I muted myself. I don't. Oh, never mind. No, that's not happening. Either way, the important one is that I stay facing here in the front, and that'll be better for everyone. But there's like that other corner one, so hopefully it won't throw people off. And right now I'm just kind of like admitting everyone as they start signing in.
I'm just happy to be here.
I am so happy that everyone is here.
This works so much better than the Instagram.
Definitely, I do agree. It's a little bit more personalized. We have more ways of communicating with the people and maybe giving a little bit of alignment. So definitely way better.
So I have to tell you something.
Yeah, tell me.
I got up into a wheel the first time ever on Tuesday night.
No way, how'd you feel?
I was like, I was here and my son was in the other room and I wanted to scream to him, Andrew, come take a picture of me, hurry.
That's kind of how I do. Sometimes I'm like, aren't you looking? Just take a quick picture and then I'll just get out of it. Good. Hi. All right.
Talking on the No, I'm fine.
You're going to Andrew.
Hello, everyone.
Hurry.
I'm just kind of going back and forth into my phone and my laptop, making sure that I am, that everyone has the email and the invite, and that everyone in the list is here. If anyone wants to say hi and unmute themselves, I'll be happy to connect before we start. And as I was saying, I do have another angle of my laptop over there. So in case you're like, oh, okay, how? That's because I have my phone here and then I have my laptop there with my personal account. And that's mostly because I don't have glasses, so I can't see my phone from there. And my laptop lets me see you just extend it in a better way. So if anything, I'll be like, okay, nice. I can definitely see more from a bigger screen. So there we go. Nice. Okay, so we still have 5 minutes before we start, and I won't be putting any music on my background, but I did include the Spotify playlist on the email. So if you want to access the Spotify playlist, is going to be there, and it's already in order. Make sure that your Spotify is not on shuffle, so that you can kind of go through each song as it is, because it has a flow to it, and it has a great message. So it's just songs that I kind of relate to at this moment, and hopefully you'll like it. So if you like music on the background, then that'll be the playlist for today. So how's everyone doing?
Doing good.
I have a question.
Yes.
I would like to know if I can log with my laptop to see you and with my iPhone to listen, because the audio is definitely better in my phone, but I don't know if the log will allow me to log twice with different IDs.
I don't think so. I think you either use your phone or use your laptop. The thing is that I have on my personal account, and then I have on my laptop my personal account, and that's how I was able to do both at the same time, because I'm in different accounts. I think that'll be the way to do it. If like your husband has like another account, maybe we can give him access or something like that. But then definitely I would go for the laptop if you only have access to one account, so you can just see it in like bigger, which is what I do because I'm very blind with my laptop.
That is what I thought.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, of course, no problem.
You may be able to let it, if you go to the bottom and like disconnect computer audio, there may be an option to like dial you so that you can have everything joined on your computer, but it'll like do a phone call to you.
You're right, with the same login but call.
Yeah, it'll
great
just be like a phone call here, but it'll have the video on the computer.
Huh, good.
Yeah, because the audio in my laptop is not so good.
See,
Great, thank you. That's a great idea.
Yeah. I'm very new to all of what's going on right now with this Zoom teaching and connecting with people through the platform. So we all learn together.
Yeah, it's an experiment.
And we still have 2 minutes. People are just jumping in as we speak. So I'll be kind of like going back and forth, clicking on my phone. We will be exploring today a lot of chest opening, a lot of upper body strength, because it's a flow created to kind of open up towards chin stand at some point. We might or might not explore the pose at the very end, but my ideal today is for you to find more spread and more openness through the upper body, and also kind of turn on the muscles from the upper back in order to support more weight as you still find opening through the chest. So you will see a lot of that today. And yeah. So I'm happy to see that people are coming in. Mhm. All right. Hi, Mamika. I'm so happy to see you. Just gonna go through the screen. Awesome. So we're in theory just waiting like for 4 more people. Oh, there we go. Let's see, waiting room. Okay. Oh. All right. Oh, never mind. All right, guys. So we just have 1 more minute. I think we're just missing 2 more people. And I'm just gonna maybe give it like a couple more seconds to make sure that we're all in, so we don't skip anyone. And as I was mentioning, for those that are just coming in, we are gonna open up a lot of the chest, and we will be working with the upper body in order to open up towards chin stand. Then again, the objective is not to pose. The objective is to open up as much as we can from the front side and grow more strength through the upper part of the back. So let's just go ahead and get ourselves started. We're gonna be on our mats, lying down in Supta Baddha Konasana. So that will mean the soles of the feet together touching and just opening the knees wide. And if you're using my playlist today, go ahead and click play again, making sure that it's not on shuffle so it follows that nice flow through the sequence. And as you start lying down with your butterfly legs, choose a distance in between the heels and the groin that helps you find a good opening. So the closer the heels to the groin, the more intense the stretch. The farther away the heels from the groin, the more restorative the stretch, or the more peaceful it can be for the body. Now, the closer you bring the heels to the groin, make sure that as you do so, that the lower back is not lifting up, that you're pressing lower back and mid back down, so you can really feel the turning on of the core, the abdomen pressing down, while you feel the openness of the inner thigh. So the inner groin is just separating from the inner knee, and you can choose wherever you want to put the hands that will make you feel empowered to begin. If that's one hand on the heart, one hand on the belly, maybe the hands down touching the ground, or maybe the hands opened up to start receiving energy as you create the ease through the body for the mind. And maybe to start sensing that self-love that creates personal evolution. That sense of self-love that helps you find growth. That self-love that helps you understand how to love others more. And feel that every time that you press the soles of the feet together a little bit stronger towards each other, you feel a deeper stretch through the inner groin. Now start tapping into a breath that you relate to. If Ujjayi is something that you're working on to find a little bit of more heat, when you inhale through the nose, you find a resistance at the top when you can inhale no more, and then you let it out through the nose, making almost like a constriction at the front of the throat. So you feel that every time that you exhale, it's a little bit challenging for the air to come out, and that will cause the body to heat a little bit more. So again, start connecting into the breath as you inhale through the nose, and you exhale through the nose. Again, either constricting, or even if you don't create the constriction, then you just choose to inhale naturally and organically through the nose and exhaling through the nose. You feel how the breath will help you connect into the sequence, and how the poses have a greater means to the end. If you haven't already, set the arms next to you. Go ahead and just stretch the arms next to the torso. Keep the butterfly legs as they are, and as you chose the distance in between heels and groin. Make sure that, again, the palms are pressing down. Take an inhale, pick up the lower back, away from the ground. So you're coming into like a bridge pose with your butterfly legs. Now feel how the hip bones start separating away from each other and how the knees start pointing out a little bit more, and how much you have to really ignite the core to send the buttocks towards the heels to really give space for the lower back to rise a little bit higher. Inhale to stay. Exhale to lower the mid back and lower back down. Take an inhale, clap the knees together and thighs as well. Now listen carefully. As the thighs really glue together, use the exhale to only separate the feet away from each other. So imagine that the knees are caving in and the thighs, again, they're magnetizing. The only thing you can move away are the feet. So it'll be looking a little bit like this. Hopefully I'm not too dark and you can see fully. Let me know if there's something I can change for you. And again, as you feel that the outer heels are pressing down, the farther away that you move them, the deeper the engagement of the outer hips. Now go ahead and send the hands next to you and make sure that the palms are pressing down. Keep the arms close to the torso so you have a little bit of more kind of like pressure to lift. So again, thighs keep pressing and the knees together for the following. Take an inhale, pick up the lower back and mid back away from the ground, and feel how with every separation of the hip bones, you can lift a little bit higher because the engagement of the core is strong in order to lift you a little bit more. Stay for the inhale. Exhale, release the mid back, lower back all the way to the ground. Take a deep breath in, separate the thighs and knees away, just hips distance. So if your feet were a little bit too wide, just walk them in. So you make sure that you can see your heels in line with your glutes and that your knees are over your heels. Now again, the hands are next to you. This is gonna be familiar. Take an inhale, regular bridge, come up. Feel the hip bones rise. Again, this time might be a little bit more approachable because you already opened up both sides, very intensely out and then very intensely in. So when you find the center, now you understand better how the core can lift you a little bit higher. Now again, the hands are next to the hips. Take a deep breath in. We're adding on, lift the right leg up and towards the ceiling as if you're about to create a hole or poke it with your big toe. Use the exhale to bend the knee into the right armpit as if you can touch it. Now listen carefully. Inhale, open the shin out to the right side as if you're creating a half frog floating in the bridge. So it's a lot of engagement of the core and how much you need to really lift the right hip bone to keep the knee in line with that right hip. Stay here for the inhale. Exhale, release only the right foot next to the left and keep the bridge pose. Maybe you lift a little bit higher or you walk in the shoulders a little bit closer to create more stability. Take an inhale, reach the left leg up and straight towards the ceiling as if you're about to make a hole in the ceiling with your big toe. Exhale, bend the knee in towards the left armpit and feel how the abdomen needs to crunch and to bring it a little bit close. Inhale, open up the leg laterally like a half floating frog and make sure that you're not dipping the leg down. You're engaging through the left side abdomen just to keep it in line with the left side. Take an inhale. Exhale, step the left foot to meet the right. Keep the bridge. One more inhale to lift a little bit higher. Exhale, release, mid back, lower back. Stay here just for a little bit. If you felt that the intensity of the movement and the connection of the poses have lost your breath, this is the time to pick it up again so you continue this flow and wave of the breath throughout the whole hour. Keep the hands next to you again, palms pressing down. This time, use the inhale to extend the legs towards the front of the room. Now, this is going to be tricky. Make sure that your feet are hips distance, so if you lift to see them, they're not touching thighs, they're not really touching so much. Just create a space for your legs to be in line with the hip bones, hands next to you. It's a full body bridge. So as you bring the shoulder blades together, inhale, lift the lower back and mid back away from the ground. So again, it's a lot of engagement through the lower belly, upper belly to really feel that you can lift the buttocks away from the ground. Stay here for the inhale. Exhale, release buttocks and mid back all the way to the ground. Go ahead and open your arms to a T. Inhale, bring the knees in towards the abdomen. Use the exhale to drop the knees to the left. Knees to the left, all the way. So when you turn your gaze to the right, you come into a supine twist. And in the supine twist, you can add a little bit of weight if you choose to find pressure with your right hand over your right thigh. You can just make sure that your right shoulder blade is not lifting, that it's pressing down all the way and extending the hand towards whatever's on the right side of the room for you to find a little bit of more stability. Inhale, lift the knees and your gaze back up through center. Use the exhale to drop the knees to the right and your gaze to the left. So supine twist to the other side. And again, the way you twist really matters, especially the sides that you send the legs to first does a lot of work for the proper engagement of the digestive system. So when you press the knees now to the right, you just squish everything to where it has to go. Make sure that the left shoulder blade is pressing down all the way to the ground. Inhale, bring your knees and gaze back up through center. Use the exhale to hug yourself. You can grab the shins or the back of the thighs and bring maybe the thighs a little bit closer to the abdomen. If you like to rock and roll a little bit from side to side, do so. Take a deep breath in. Use the exhale to pick up the forehead into the kneecaps and now start rocking and rolling forward and back, all the way until you can roll into the shins and find all fours. Press the hands down, buttocks over the kneecaps, and once you find your tabletop, do any movements that you feel that you need to do in order to just awaken the spine. If that is wagging the tail, if that is maybe moving the hands towards either side, go ahead and do so. And while you're here, one thing that I really want you to notice is how much the index, kind of like the index, the thumb, and the pinky root fingers are pressing down. So from the knuckle line, just sink the hand down and feel the abdomen pressing up and in. Once you feel you've done enough movement that really calls your name, make sure that your hands are facing forward naturally. Take an inhale, find a regular cow, tailbone to the back of the head, and send the head towards the tailbone to really expand the belly down, keep the shoulders on top of the wrists. Exhale, bring the navel up and in and around the spine quite a bit so you feel the crunching sensation of the abdomen pushing towards the spine. Inhale, open up, find your cow. Follow the breath, exhale, find your cat. Inhale, one more. Cow, of course. And then last cat. Good. Take a deep breath in, find a neutral spine. Use the exhale to start pressing the chest down and lifting the tailbone up like a cow, finding your extended puppy pose. Keep the arms towards the front. And then if you feel that this opening of the chest is a little bit too much to explore today, you can grab a pillow, put it underneath the heart. You can grab a blanket, a block if you have one close by. And that helps you add a little bit of height under the chest if you need it. But if you really want just gravity to push you down, then let the body be or explore the position that it is in right now and keep extending the arms, lifting the tailbone and expanding the belly towards the thighs to really get into the opening of the sternum. Take a deep breath and start walking the hands back underneath the shoulders to come into your tabletop. Just use the exhale to stay here and kind of acknowledge what you went through right now. Curl the toes. Take an inhale to hover the knees about 2 inches away from the ground. So you're gonna have to engage a little bit more through the abdominal line to make sure that you're not caving the belly down, but you're sending the tailbone to the back of the knees. We're gonna get tricky, guys. Take an inhale, extend the right leg towards the back of the room as if you're about to now poke a hole in the wall behind you. Use the exhale to bring the knee in towards the right elbow while still hovering your left knee. Now listen, this is where it gets tricky. Inhale, open the knee out like that floating frog that you did, but this time on your tabletop so the shin is facing the right side of your room. Use the exhale to drop the toes next to the left. You're still hovering your tabletop, we're getting heated. Inhale, extend the left leg towards the back of the room while still hovering your right knee. Exhale, bring the knee into the left elbow. Inhale, laterally open your leg like a car door. Exhale, drop the toes to meet the right. One more on each side. Inhale, extend the right leg back. Exhale, knee into the right elbow. Inhale, laterally open it up. Exhale, release the toes down. Left side, inhale, extend. Exhale, knee into the left elbow. Inhale, open out. Exhale, release the toes down. Take an inhale, stay. Exhale, downward facing dog. Nice job, guys. Now go ahead and pedal it out. Do anything that you need in this downward facing dog to help you find a good stretch of the hamstrings, a slight opening of the heart, maybe greater than the extended puppy pose. And just making sure that when you're pressing the abdomen back, you're not forgetting about giving space for the legs. So make sure that the spacing between toes and wrists is the same as your high plank. If you were to come forward, you're not kind of like shooting the shoulders beyond the wrist. You're just on top of shoulders over wrist, heels over the toes. And when you pike up, that is the natural distancing in between hands and feet. Hands are shoulder width in between each other, and feet are hips distance. If your heels don't touch, that's okay. You can just keep the knees bent. Give priority to how the spine is lengthening and the spacing between the shoulder blades. Take an inhale, look in between the hands with the exhale. Step or walk your feet to the front of the mat. Come into your fold. Inhale for a halfway lift. Exhale, find a fold. Take an inhale, reach up, send the hands over the head all the way. Exhale, bring your hands through heart center. Pause right here. Close your eyes. And then make space for the challenges that you are confronting in this moment. So you invite them in with a greater purpose, with a greater smile, and a better understanding on where they can take you. Use the inhale to reach the hands over the head all the way. Exhale, send the hands towards the hips for stability so you can find a little bit of more of like a good pressure of the soles of the feet down into the ground. Take a deep breath in. Exhale, bend the right knee and send the right heel to the glute. Send your right hand to catch the foot. Now try to keep the thighs glued together without the knee moving back and forth. Go ahead and hold your left hip very strongly so you support the lower back. Use the inhale to start pressing the belly forward, and then your heel a little bit closer to the glute so you can really find a good stretch of the quad while the knees are still pressing together. Good. Take an inhale to stack up. Use the exhale to release the foot down. Nice job. Doing the left side, inhale, stay. Exhale, bend the left knee so the heel is coming to the glute and send the left hand behind you. So when you're coming into this stance, notice how my knee is not too far forward or too far back. It's right in line with my right. There we go. As I hold my right hip, use the inhale to send the belly forward with control, with the knee still glute, and then the heel still pressing into the left butt cheek so you can really open up through the quad. Inhale, stack. Exhale, release the foot down. Inhale, reach up, send the hands over the head, and kind of take a mini back bend by tucking the tailbone and sending the belly forward. Exhale, find your fold. Inhale, halfway lift, open up. Exhale, fold. Take an inhale. Step or walk your feet to the back of the mat. Find your high plank. Stay here. Listen carefully with the shoulders over the wrists and the heels over the toes. Use the exhale to drop the knees wherever they may fall. Now listen carefully. Take an inhale. Extend the right leg back to a hover. Use the exhale to send the left toe. So while you're bending the left knee, send the left toes towards the right thigh. So you're kind of creating like a shelf for your right thigh, if that makes any sense. Good. Now with your arms and shoulders over the wrist, take an inhale. Exhale, chest and chin dips down with the elbows coming in towards the torso. Inhale, pick yourself back up. Exhale, elbows and chest and chin dips. Inhale, pick yourself back up. Exhale, last chest and chin dips. Good. Take an inhale to stack up. With the exhale, just release the left shin down and the right shin to meet the left. You're in a longer form of a tabletop. Take an inhale, extend the left leg towards the back of the room to a hover. Make sure that your thigh is rolling in and your toes are facing down. Exhale, keep bending the right knee. Just pick up the right toes away and then put the sole of the foot on the left thigh. So you're creating a shelf for it. Take a deep breath in. Exhale, bring the elbows back and in, chest and chin dips. Good, inhale, pick yourself back up. Exhale, chest and chin dips. Inhale, pick yourself back up. Exhale, chest and chin dips. Good job. Take an inhale, pick yourself back up. Exhale, just drop the right shin down and the left shin to meet the right. Curl the toes. Inhale, open the heart. Exhale, just pike up, find your downward facing dog. This will also create strength for your high to low plank or your chaturanga dandasana. And it will just create a little bit of more awareness of what muscles you're using to go up and down. Take a deep breath in. Look in between the hands with the exhale, step or walk to the front of the mat. Come to your fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Keep the hips stacked over the heels, so make sure that you're not shifting back. If anything, you're shifting a little bit further forward. Exhale, fold. Inhale, reach. Send the hands over the head all the way. Listen for the change. Exhale, send the hands behind you, interlace the fingers. Press the palms together from wrist to knuckles. Inhale, open up through the heart. Again, you're tucking the tailbone, sending the belly forward with control. Exhale, find your fold. And you can bend the knees if you need to. So you can find the abdomen pressing in towards the thighs first. And then you start sending the fist away from the lower back, as if you have that very heavy kettlebell, just kind of dropping itself over your head. And then little by little, can you lengthen the knees and just let the head hang heavier for you to open up the shoulders and chest a little bit more. Take an inhale, unwind, press the hands down into the ground, open the heart. Exhale, fold. Inhale, halfway lift, just one more. Exhale, fold. Take an inhale, step or walk your feet to the back of the mat, find your high plank, stay here again. This time with the exhale, drop yourself into a forward plank. Now make sure that your hands aren't touching. I know that sometimes we want to press the palms together. This time, keep the palms in line with the elbows and your elbows in line with your shoulders. Make sure that your navel is coming up and in. Take an inhale. Exhale, come into a dolphin. And even if you're flexible and you can walk your dolphin very close, keep it more like a down dog dolphin where it's just a nice spacing between toes and elbows. This is where we're going to get a little bit tricky again. Make sure that your hands are pressing down from thumb to pinky finger. Inhale, shift forward, find a high plank, picking maybe one arm and then the other, or both at the same time as you shift forward. Exhale, drop the forearms down, come into your dolphin. Good. Take an inhale, press with the hand, lift, high plank, navel up and in. You need to use a lot of the core. Exhale, press maybe one forearm down and then the other, or both at the same time by your dolphin. Last one, inhale, shift, high plank. Exhale, dolphin as you press the forearms down. Inhale, last high plank. And this time just pike up, downward facing dog. My hands went out of my mat, so I'm just walking them back. So I make sure that I have enough space for enough grip also for my hands on my feet. And again, find that spacing in between elbows and armpits that lets you lengthen the triceps to make more space for the upper back. Take an inhale, look in between the hands with the exhale, step or walk your feet to the front of the mat. Come into your fold. Inhale, halfway, open up. Exhale, fold. Really flatten the belly over the thighs, make space or bend the knees a lot. Inhale, reach up, send the hands over the head and feel the thighs pressing in together. Exhale, forward fold, Uttanasana one more time, and then again, keep the knees soft and the belly pressing towards the thighs to really feel the length of the hamstrings and the lower back. Inhale, halfway. Open up, let the heart be the one that leads you forward. Exhale, fold. Inhale, step both feet towards the back of the mat. Find your high plank. With the exhale, lower the knees down towards the ground. Good. Now shins and tops of feet are pressing down. This time, take a deep breath in. Exhale, press the chest and chin down. So that means that the tailbone is going to lift up like a cow when you bend the elbows back and in. Again, collarbone separate, chest and chin down. Good. Now listen carefully. Take an inhale. Lift up and shift back like a child's pose. Exhale, shift forward, chest and chin down with the elbows bent as you pick up the tailbone like a cow. Inhale, lift and shift back into like a child's pose. Inhale, shift, or rather exhale, shift forward, elbows back in, chest and chin down. Good. Take an inhale, shift back into the child's pose. Use the exhale to curl the toes and just lift the hips. Downward facing dog. I think we're pretty warmed up already into what lets us prep for that chin stand. So you can inhale, look in between the hands with the exhale, step or rock to the front of the mat. Into your fold. Inhale, halfway, open up. Exhale, fold. Maybe this time you start lengthening the knees a little bit. As long as the belly is touching the thighs, then you are very well protected in the lower back. Inhale, reach out to the hands over the head. As soon as your hands press, take it down, forward fold. Inhale, halfway. Again, keep the hips stacked over the heels to feel the challenge of the hamstrings. Exhale, fold. Inhale, step or rock your feet to the back of the mat. Find your high plank. Choose if in this chaturanga you want to lower the knees or you hover them with the elbows in. Now I know that we've been dipping the chest and chin down. Keep right now the chest and chin in line with how the belly is taking you down, no matter if you drop the knees or not. Inhale, open the heart in between your hands for your cobra. If you want to do upward facing, press the tops of the feet to hover the shins and thighs. Exhale, curl the toes, lift the hips. Downward facing dog. That is your full vinyasa, guys. Remember that you can always modify, add on, or change something. As long as you follow the foundations of the poses, you can just change or add on anything that you feel that your practice requires today. Take an inhale, look in between the hands with the exhale. Again, step or rock to the front of the mat, come into your fold. Inhale, halfway, open up. Feel how the memory of the body keeps the hips stacked over the heels. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rise. Send the hands over the head. Last on salutation, maybe forward fold. Inhale, halfway, open up. Exhale, fold. Inhale, step or rock your feet to the back of the mat. Find your high plank. Then again, choose on the chaturanga dandasana will help you build the strength if the knees are going down or if they're hovering with the chest and chin in line with each other. Inhale, slide in for the back foot of your choice. Exhale, curl the toes. Lift the hips. Downward facing dog. Take a full breath in and a full breath out. Inhale, look in between the hands with the exhale, step or rock to the front of the mat. And your fold. Inhale, halfway, open up. Exhale, fold. Inhale, reach up. So the hands over the head and then start walking the feet together in the thighs as well. Exhale, Utkatasana chair. So when you start sitting down in the invisible seat, make sure that the pubic bone is coming up and towards the heart. So it's as if you were taking your hands and putting them over your head. So that movement of the pelvis is doing the same thing of when your body wants to sit in an actual chair, but because you don't have the chair, it becomes very interesting for how the thighs need to support the seat that you don't have underneath you. Go ahead and keep the arms straight up. Maybe you look up with a back, long neck. Take a deep breath in. Exhale, fold. Inhale, halfway. Open up, lead with the heart one more time. Exhale, fold. Take an inhale. Step the left foot all the way to the back of the mat. Use the exhale to drop the knee so you come into a runner's lunge. Keep the hands down for now. You can tent them or grab blocks, pillows, blankets, anything that you need to open up through the sternum a little bit more. In the lunge, make sure that your knee is stacking over the ankle. So if you step back and your foot kind of went a little bit too far back on the front or kind of did not adjust, you can just move your foot for it to be in line with the ankle. Take an inhale, reach the hands over the head. Exhale, interlace the fingers behind the back edge of the skull and open the elbows out as if you're stargazing. Take an inhale for like a back bend. Let the left hip press forward and up and towards the heart for you to find the stretch of the quad. Listen carefully. With the exhale, tap the left elbow to the inner right knee. So that's it. You're gonna have to open up a little bit more through the chest and we'll really get it open. Good. Take an inhale to stack up. Reach the hands over the head. Exhale, release the hands down to frame your right foot. Inhale, half splits. Extend your front leg, flex the foot, and pick up the ball of the big toe, pinky toe away from the ground. Now use the exhale to fold over the leg. And get a good opening. Now again, you can bring whatever you have around you to find height of the chest if you need to. That's if your hamstrings are a little bit too tight. To make space for the abdomen to lengthen over the thigh and get the most out of the hamstring stretch. Now keep the half split leg Press the left hand down, inhale, open the right arm up for a twist. So it's like an easy twist, but with your front leg long. And while you're getting here, can you press the inner right thigh to the belly and the belly towards the inner right thigh? Now ground down from the left hand very strongly. Inhale, extend the right leg all the way to the back of the mat. So now you come into like a supported half moon. Magically. So keep extending through the right leg. And then as you're stacking the hips, can you find the opening as you lift the right arm up? With the exhale, you can bend the right knee and send the right hand behind you. If you want to go for that bind for an extra stretch, you can. If not, you can just stay here and you can even just bend the knee and stay there. This is also a good stretch. When you grab the foot, maybe you have an opportunity to pull a little bit more and access it if you like. Without slingshotting, take an inhale, stretch the leg first to the back of the mat and start swinging it all the way to the right side. So it's as if you're wanting to look at what's on top of your foot. Use the exhale to drop the foot to the right edge of the mat so it's long. You can drop the right hand next to the left, take an inhale. Exhale, another extended puppy pose, but this time with a right leg extended to the right edge of the mat. So it's basically your, I would call it gate posed legs. And then with my hips still lifted, I'm pressing my chest and chin down for an extra stretch here. Take an inhale. Start walking the hands in like a tabletop, so the shoulders over the wrists. Use the exhale to just swing the right leg back. Maybe pick up the left knee to come into a high plank. Take a vinyasa however you like. So maybe you just keep the knees down and let the chest and chin come down. Opening through the heart, to the back bend that you like the most. Meeting each other in a downward facing dog. Want to know a funny story? My dog peed on my mat, and I think I washed it too much that it lost its grip, so I might be slipping and sliding at some point. Take an inhale, look in between the hands with the exhale, step or rock to the front of the mat. Come into your fold. Inhale, halfway, open up. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rise. And while you're rising, make sure that the big toes are touching and the heels are pressing together. Exhale, find your chair again. And then again, remember that you're trying to put the hands over your head, and that movement of the pelvis will cause the lower back to lengthen and the core to strengthen as you lift the arms over the head. Inhale. And exhale, fold. Inhale, halfway. Open up. Exhale, fold deeper. Inhale, step the right foot all the way to the back of the mat. Drop the knee. Keep the hands down with the exhale. Once you're here, check the alignment of your front leg, which is your left. Left knee over the left ankle. No matter how far the right knee is or the distance that you chose, to make sure that the alignment of the front leg is strong. Take an inhale, reach the hands over the head, over the leg. Excellent, release the fingers behind the back edge of the skull, squeeze the elbows out, inhale, stay. Exhale, tap the right elbow to the inner left knee and try to open up the left elbow as much as you can. Inhale, lift the hands over the head, unwind the binding. Exhale, release the hands down to frame your front foot. Inhale, lengthen the front leg, half splits. Pick up the ball of the big toe, pinky toe. Exhale, fold. Finding the stretch of the hamstring. And just getting a little bit deeper every time that you bring height to the heart and more ampleness and proudness of the center of the chest in order to reach the big toe towards the nose. Now keep the front leg as it is, right hand down, inhale, lift the left arm for like an easy twist again in the half split legs. So you find a little bit more opening to the outer thigh as well. Now keep the right hand grounded, inhale, straighten the right leg to the back of the room. And again, you kind of magically come into a supported half moon. Stacking the left hand over the right. Stay here for the inhale. If you went for the quad stretch, use the exhale to bend the left knee. If you grab the foot, take the left hand behind you and just grab it. Then try to really separate the left hip bone away from the right by pressing the belly to whatever's on the left edge of your mat. Take an inhale, straighten the leg without slingshotting and slowly start bringing it towards the left edge of the mat. So if you're wanting to look what's on top of the left foot, exhale, drop the foot long to the outer edge of the mat and drop the left hand next to the right. Inhale, look up. Exhale, extended puppy pose with your gate posed legs. So be looking a little bit like this. And then pressing the heart down with the arms extended towards your head. Take an inhale. Walk the hands so you're coming into like a tabletop. Use the exhale to just swing the left leg back and let the right leg meet it. Then take your vinyasa, however it's calling your name right now. Take an inhale. Look in between the hands with the exhale. Again, you step or you walk to the front of the mat. Come into your fold. Inhale, halfway, open up. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rise. Long legs with the hands over the head. Listen for the change. Exhale, interlace the fingers and send them behind the back edge of the skull. So again, it's as if you're stargazing standing. Now, we are going to go against everything I believe on the following movement. So while you're holding the back of the head and opening your elbows out just like so, take a deep breath in. With the exhale, start sending the tailbone to the back of the head like a standing cow. Keep the legs long for now, and then again, it's as if you're trying to let the head touch your tailbone from behind. Stay here for the inhale. Exhale, bend the knees now like a chair. And then again, this is why I say I'm going against everything I believe in, because normally the chair, you bring the pubic bone forward. Now I'm asking you to send the tailbone out on purpose because the abdomen is doing the work. Now you can add on here if you like. With the inhale, keep the torso as it is. Pick up the heels away from the ground. So it just adds a little bit of more of a balancing challenge by expanding the belly and lifting the heels. Inhale, stay. Exhale, hold. Release everything from heels to hands. Inhale, halfway open up. Exhale, fold. Inhale, step the left foot towards about the middle of the mat, maybe a little bit far back, depending on how your pyramid stance can get the back heel to touch. So we're coming into the pyramid. Make sure that your left toes are facing forward and that your feet are hips distance apart. With hands down on pillows, blankets, blocks, water bottles, anything that you have around. If you need them, inhale, open the heart. Exhale, fold. And you're looking for what we famously call the squared hips. That means that the left hip in this case is leading forward and the right hip is slightly leaning back in order to access the hamstring stretch of the right leg. Now keep the legs as they are in that distance. Inhale, warrior one. So you just need to, in reality, bend the front knee and reach the hands over the head because your back leg is already set. So ideally, your back toes will be facing as much forward as possible. So you actually create the angle that suits you. You want your middle toe in line with the back of the knee, so when you reach the hands over the head, you have the hips square. Don't worry so much about having a very long stance. Inhale, reach. Exhale, interlace the fingers behind the lower back. Press the palms together. Inhale, open up. Exhale, humble your warrior. Now when you humble it, you can choose to hover on top of your right thigh, or you can go inside. The thing with the humble warrior is that you have to keep the integrity of the hips. And that's why it becomes a little bit too challenging. I don't go all the way down because if I do, my hips unsquare and I lose a stretch. So I'd rather stay halfway and notice how I'm opening my back thigh a little bit more. And maybe with every exhale, I go a little bit deeper by setting my fist over my head. Keep the stance with the inhale, reach the hands over the head, coming back into your warrior one. Exhale, interlace the fingers behind the back edge of the skull as you open up through the chest. Now, listen carefully, press to the right foot. Inhale, bring the left knee in towards the abdomen, so you're balancing on your right foot. With the exhale, tap the right elbow to the inner left knee, just like you did in that low lunge. Now this time you're doing it in a balance. Now, stay here, inhale, open arm twist with the leg as it is, so your left foot is still hovering with the knee in line with the hip. You can hold the outer knee if you want. If you want to make it just super spicy, just keep the arms open as if you're about to hug someone. We know we missed that. Take an inhale. Exhale, step the left foot to the back of the mat and come into a straddle. So make sure that when you do that, that your toes are coming in towards each other and that you feel that your heels are in line with your hips. Take an inhale. Exhale, fold. Now in this fold, I'm gonna go profile so you kind of see. Try to access more of like a very wide downward dog. So lengthen the arms and try to get the chest and chin kind of like to press into the ground so you get a little bit deeper into that opening of the heart. Take an inhale. Start walking the hands to frame your right foot. Good. Stay here for the exhale to frame the right foot looking forward. Inhale, lengthen the right leg all the way to the ceiling in a one-legged downward facing dog. So again, as you walk the hands to the front of the mat, you're framing the right foot. You lift the right leg. Make sure that your hip is closed and the toes are facing down. With the exhale, start bending the knee in towards the nose to crunch it in. Good. Inhale, lengthen the leg all the way. This is where we're gonna get super tricky and funky. With the exhale, shift forward into like a high plank with your right foot hovered. Exhale, chest and chin down with the elbows coming in. Now this is tricky, so if you need to lower the left knee, you can. Take an inhale, pick yourself back up into a one-legged downward facing dog. That's where we kind of did all of the warm-ups and practices to lift our leg back up. With the exhale, open up the hip. Find your scorpion tail, get a really good stretch. Stay here with the right shoulder rolling down and towards the left thigh to really find that good resistance. Take an inhale, fire hydrant leg, so extend the right leg laterally to whatever's on the right side of your room. And use the exhale to step the right foot outside of the right hand. Nice, coming into a lizard. Making sure that in your lizard, like any lunge, you want the knee stacking over the ankle. So if it did not get all the way there and it just went a little bit too far back, just grab your ankle and help yourself. Hands inside of the foot. You can move a little bit back and forth if you like. Let the collarbones just extend. You can keep the back knee lifted as I am right now, or you can drop it down by all means. Enjoy the stretch and let, again, the heart open up. Let the right toes keep facing forward so you can really access the muscles of the pelvic floor, wrapping the right thigh into the center of the body. If you haven't already dropped the back knee, go ahead and sink it down. Take an inhale, swing the right arm back. Good. With the exhale, bend the left knee, and you can go for the foot if you like. Just for an added stretch of the quad, and then start bringing the heel closer into the glute. Make sure that your front leg is not giving in, that it did not open up like this. If it did, and you need to release a little bit of your foot, that's fine. But keep the integrity of the front leg because your front leg is your resistance point. Take an inhale to just swing the right arm back inside of the right foot. Drop the left toes down. And just send the right foot with the exhale to meet the left. Inhale, stay. Exhale, take a vinyasa if you like. You can always just back up into a downward facing dog. Take an inhale, look in between the hands with the exhale. Step or rock to the front of the mat. Come into your fold. Inhale halfway. Exhale, fold. Stay here for a full cycle breath. So you reconnect to the purpose of this practice is to be present. And if you notice, we haven't really repeated ourselves in the sequence because the more it gets you out of your own box, the greater memories you make and the more you remember about what happened maybe. Take an inhale, reach the hands over the head all the way. Exhale, interlace the fingers behind the back edge of the skull and let the elbows just lay out like a stargazing posture. Take an inhale, find the standing cow. So again, that is first sending the tailbone to the back of the head and the back of the head to the tailbone without bending the knee so much. This is for you to really get into the opening of the abdomen. Inhale, stay. Exhale, now bend the knees like a chair. So we're going against what the chair is, just so we can find a little bit more of the spreadness of the heart, and that's why you're holding your head for security. If you went for the lifting of the heels, take an inhale, do so right now. Keep the knees in line with each other. Just let the body and your intuition sense that your pelvic floor is activating to lift the heels a little bit higher. Inhale. Exhale, fold. Inhale, halfway. Exhale, fold. Take an inhale. Step the right foot to the middle or maybe a little bit farther back for the pyramid stance. Now, while you're here, Make sure that the right toes are facing forward, that your feet are hips distance, that the right hip is leaning to square the hips. Inhale halfway. Exhale, fold. Making sure that you are connected to your breath. My inhales might be a little bit shorter or longer than yours, so make sure that you are moving with how your inhale is telling you that you're ready to move into the next pose. Take an inhale, lift, warrior one. So that means that the leg, or rather the feet, stay where they are. You just start bending the front knee to lift the hands over the head. And that's when you start accessing the stretch of the right quad, lifting into the right shoulder line in order to find a little bit of more opening. Inhale. Exhale, interlace the fingers behind the lower back, press the palms together. Inhale, open up. Exhale, humble your warrior in. And then again, make sure that you're not using your left thigh as a shelf. You're either hovering on top, or if you go inside, it's because you're keeping the integrity of the squareness of the hips. So if you're going lower, 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 assess how your right hip is still rolling in. Inhale, reach the hands over the head all the way, unwind the bind. Exhale, now bind the hands behind the back edge of the skull, again like the stargazer pose. Inhale, step into the left foot and bring the right knee in line with the hip. Exhale, bring the elbow to the right inner knee to twist. Now keep the leg as it is. Inhale, just open arm twist. So now you're letting go of the bind and extending the arms out as if you're about to hug someone. Good, if you went for the hold, you definitely can. Maybe you just challenge yourself by staying here. Inhale. Exhale, step the foot all the way to the back of the mat. Find your straddle. When you're finding the straddle, make sure that your toes are directionally towards each other so the thighs are also rolling in. We're going to change it up a little bit. Inhale, open up. Exhale, interlace the fingers behind you. So now you're kind of like just pressing the hands like you're humble. Inhale, open up. Exhale, fold. Now, see here, you can knock the floor over your head, and you're like, what the hell? You can. The goal is to expand the abdomen towards the thighs in order to let the arms come a little bit farther up behind the head. But you really have to ignite a lot of the abdomen to let the fingers touch the ground all the way behind you. Now slowly unwind the bind. Inhale, halfway lift, open up. Exhale, walk the hands to frame your front foot at the top of the mat. Inhale, extend the left leg up. One-legged downward facing dog. Make sure that your thigh is rolling in and that you feel that the toes are in line with the knee and the hip bone of the left side. Exhale, knee to nose. Inhale, pick it up all the way. Good. With the exhale, this is where we get funky with the chest and chin tipping forward. Now you can do it with the back knee hovered, or you can drop it down if you need the support. Inhale, one-legged downward facing dog. Pick yourself back up. With the exhale, bend the knee and open the hip like a scorpion tail. Get your stretch. Make sure that the left armpit is rolling down and into the center so you find the resistance of the quad. Inhale, fire hydrant leg, extend the leg towards the left side of the room. Use the exhale to step the left foot outside of the left hand. Find your lizard. And then again, if it did not step all the way through and it went a little bit too far back, just grab your ankle and bring it with you. Once you're there, open up through the sternum. I'm going to face the camera this side. So this is a common misalignment where the toe starts laying out like this and you forget about the big toe. Press it down. The moment that you do that, you start working with the inner thigh because you're using the muscle of the inner leg to come in. So when you go down, it's a lot harder and you get a bigger stretch. And that's why, again, that's why it's harder because you're now really actually pulling the muscles that you sort of should into your lizard pose. So if you drop the knee down, that's fine. Just stay here for one more breath in before we move into your quad stretch. Now take an inhale. If you haven't already dropped the right knee, go ahead and do so. Stretch the left arm back as you're swinging out. Use the exhale to bend the right knee. And you can stay there. You don't have to reach for the foot. But if you do want to reach for it and grab it, then maybe you start bringing the heel very close to the butt. And then again, when you do that, make sure that your foot is not rolling out. It does that because it's letting go of the muscle. But notice how much harder it is when you have to wrap the thigh in And then bring the right heel into the butt. Take an inhale to let go of the foot. Use the exhale to just swing the left leg to meet the right. Find your high plank. Choose how you want to take the next vinyasa. Take a deep breath in. With the exhale, find a child's pose. Or any other pose that brings peace to you and ease to your mind. Take an inhale. Come forward into a tabletop. This is our last chest opener. And then again, I'm going to give you options that you can explore, and you choose which one is for you today. I am going to give you the option of that chin stand. So make sure that you look at this first, and then you do whatever it is that you want to challenge yourself with. So first thing is just taking the extended puppy pose like we did at the very beginning of the practice, and just let the heart open up here. If you want to go deeper from this, send the hands next to the shoulder line right here, not towards the face, to the shoulder. Now this is a second variation. You can bring the heels into the butt while still keeping the knees down and your hands next to the shoulders. This is to educate a little bit of the weight that is going to go into the chest and the chin. Now make sure that in your chin stand, your mouth is never on the ground. It should be always away because you have to let the airway clear. Now your other variation is dropping the toes down and picking up the knees. This one's a little bit more intense for the heart. So making sure that you're exploring little by little. The next variation, if you wish to go deeper, is picking up the leg away from the ground. And if you're doing that one by one, make sure that you do both at the, well, not both at the same time, but one and then the other, that you balance on the body. And then of course, your last one is the chin stand. If you feel like, I'm gonna do it, okay, so just listen carefully. Make sure that you feel, again, that the airway is clear, that the chest and chin are the one helping you balance, but the weight is on the hands, not on your face or not on the neck. When you're going down, again, notice your hands next to the shoulders. That is very important. You come into that most intense variation that we explored with the legs long and lifted. Pick up a leg and use the compression of the belly. Press into the hands and lift the other one. It's no kicking. It's a float of the legs kind of using the lower abdomen to lift and lengthen. So that's why you always have to keep the mouth away from the ground. You want everything clear to really find the space to balance through the chest and the weight coming into the hands. So take your pick of which one you feel can help you better to find that last opening. And if you're like, I'm on the chin stand, try to bring the thighs together. Nice, Matt. Just try to really work into igniting the pelvic floor so you're not just lengthening the legs up and towards the sky. You're truly noticing how the lower abdomen is the one that needs to help you lift. And again, keep breathing through the variations that you chose for that last chest opening. If you already removed yourself in the pose, find that last child's pose. Just shoot back, extend the arms forward. If you're still working at it, take your time. And by all means, this is a pose that has a lot of questions that we can break down in a moment. But for now, just breathe it all in and detach from the sensation so you let the body accept more and more with every time that you practice this pose or whichever one that is. Take a deep breath in to come back into the tabletop. This time, just let the exhale swing in front of you to find the seat, and then to roll all the way down into your spine. Plant the soles of the feet down. You can keep the knees bent for now. And stay here. You did a lot with your front side right now. So really let The lower back and the abdomen press down to find a little bit of ease and support on the lower back. Go ahead and open your arms into a D. Take an inhale to lengthen the left leg towards the front of the room and use the exhale to bring the right knee in towards the abdomen. Inhale, stay, maybe bring the right knee a little bit closer to the right armpit. Use the exhale to crossbody the leg to the left side and take your gaze to the right for a deeper form of a supine twist. You can hold the outer right thigh with your left hand if you like. Just make sure that when you're putting that extra weight, that your right shoulder blade is always expanding out and to the side so you truly get into the deepest form of the twist. Take a deep breath in, bring your right knee back up to the center. Use the exhale to release the right leg to meet the left. Inhale, bring the left knee in towards the abdomen, knee crunch it into close the hip almost into the armpit. Exhale, cross body the leg to the right side, turn your gaze to the left arm. And if you went for that added weight of holding the outer thigh, you can do so on this side with your right hand, just add a little bit more weight, grabbing the left outer thigh. Making sure that the left shoulder blade is always pressing down for you to get that counter weight and anchoring down to get the most out of it. Take an inhale. Bring your left knee up and through center and let the right knee meet it. Go ahead and hug yourself for the last time from the shins or back of the thighs, whatever brings you more comfort. And take a very intense deep breath in. Don't let it go yet. Just keep it there. So you notice how much life force means to you and how much you can pass on to others by letting go of the breath. Just empty out. And as you empty out, start lengthening the legs towards the front. Your arms next to you. Close your eyes. There's nothing more to see. There's a lot more to feel as you detach yourself from the body to experience the self in a subtler form. And so you notice your water settling. Your waves sleeping. And your mind getting stronger because you have that ability of seeing the horizon clear. Stay in your Shavasana. You're going to be here all together, and I'll just bring you back. Trust the journey that your intuition has brought you through. Trust that you can still be here and feel like it has been days of restoration. Remember that you can always stay here for as long as you need. If you're ready, just let the innermost corner of the mind and the longest into the body communicate with each other for you to start moving completely. And when you feel ready, just bring the knees over the abdomen. Drop them to the right side. Maybe use your right arm as a pillow to come into a loose heel. So you remove yourself from any lower back tension that you felt from being on the ground. Slowly start lifting yourself up into a seat. And finding comfort by maybe having the legs crossed or in whichever seat you relate to grounding. Find it. Trust, again, the intuition by keeping the eyes closed. And once you get there, use the inhale to reach the arms over the head. Let the exhale press the palms and bring the hands through heart center. As always, I will ask you to communicate with the universe and its entirety, its love, its compassion by vibrating through the sound of Om. You can follow on your own if you like. Take a deep breath in. Empty the breath out. Inhale from. Thank you for giving me a space to keep connecting with you and for letting me enter your sacred space where we can all practice together from the bottom of my heart. Thank you so much again, one more time. Namaste. Hi guys. Again, thank you so much for jumping in, coming in. If you want to unmute yourselves and say something, give feedback, ask any questions, I'll be more than happy to take it all in. And if you don't follow me on Instagram, follow me. So if there's any questions regarding your practice as the days go by, just let me know. You can always DM me and just send me whatever you have on your mind through there at any point. And I'll be happy to serve you then. I teach on Saturday mornings as well at 7 a.m., 7:15 a.m. So I'll be happy to see you then if you want to explore the same intention of the heart opening in a different way. So that's what I focus on the week is something, and then I change the sequence every day. So we can keep ourselves present and always evolving and changing, because, you know, these times are about adapting fast and not furiously, but just fast. So again, I'm just happy to have you here, and hopefully, if not, I'll see you on Saturday morning. Yes.
Thank you so much.
Well, thank
Yes, thank you guys. Thank you again. I'm gonna remove my phone from where it is so I can kind of use it better and swipe everyone. So hopefully this practice was a good one. We did a lot of funky stuff, and I'm just happy to keep everyone, you know, again, present. And that's why I don't repeat the sequence at any point. So you're always being like, okay, what's next? Because I know it's for sure something very different. So, and I don't want, you know, we're already bored. So I feel like repetition is something overrated right now. I don't know. That's just it.
We loved it.
Awesome.
It was
Thank
great.
you guys. Thank you. I'm just swiping
Thank
right
you.
at everyone. So thank you again.
Bye. Thank you.
Back. I'll be receiving it through Instagram if you like to send it there.
you. Okay, bye.
Awesome. Thank you so much, guys. Thank you.